What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Hologram. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really influencing it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So this is why I like to analyze stocks in comparison to like similar debt levels and whatever else. So Hologram, we already do know, has been relatively quiet, lack of news, despite them having a ton of cash. So they have a lot of good opportunities. One thing that is really affecting the market right now is if you relied on toxic debt, or lenders, whatever you want to call them. So when it comes to, like, for instance, even looking at my watch list, you do see Faraday, Mullen, and obviously a couple of others that are slightly red. The ones that are getting absolutely massacred today are ones that are relying on those toxic lenders. So Hologram, like I said, is kind of in that same boat, but the reason why they are green right now, up 0.55%, is because of their cash. So Hologram, even though they've relied on kind of dumb methods to obtain the cash, they have opportunity for them to do something. So once again, I want to go over some of the data points. As of today, like I already mentioned, there's been absolutely no news, regrettably. And for SEC filings, last one was done on August 14th. So I've already brought that up in a previous video. Right now, though, you do see the market kind of rallying, people's appetite for risk going up slightly. So the fear and greed index is under the fear category, which is 36. So again, that could really stand to benefit stocks such as Hologram, because Hologram is a hybrid stock. I've brought this up time and time again. It's an AI play. Hopefully they put out more news to kind of validate that. Momentum stock, which as of right now, not much institutions have been paying attention to it, as you can kind of see. So no transactions over the last 90 days on the secondary market. But more specifically, I think a lot of people think of it as a squeeze play right now, and typically look back at the past chart and just say, yeah, you have to be patient, and then it will eventually squeeze. And you know what? In the past, it has done that 3 times, like I have pointed out right here. You can kind of see. I don't think there's been any correlation. Some individuals said it might be correlated to a Chinese holiday, but I think the only one that had news around it was this one right here in February 2024. So yes, this stock does have the ability to essentially go up. It just, in my opinion, you need news, because right now only 5.65% of the free float is being shorted. That's because of the recent dilution. It's really skewing the numbers. So of course, with the higher share count, keeping shares shorts the same, then this is why you do have a lower number. So 5.65% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 4.52 million shares. Right now, the market's been open around 15 minutes. They are increasing about 11,000 shares, or just over that. Utilization 53.74, short score. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is 61.83. And then cost to borrow average is 16.74%. So just starting off, give yourself a shout out if you have been holding this whole time, and if you do believe it is going to be a squeeze or not. Based on the latest round of 13F's, which all did occur during Q2, you did see some institutions paying attention to it. Of course, a lot of these transactions, given the price level, wouldn't be really listed here, because these transactions, obviously nothing, but show over $100,000. So typically big institutions and big transactions. So a lot of these 13F's do disclose. For instance, Bank of America did make a brand new position of 8,800. You have UBS, 3,200, and Jane, 96. So you have a lot of big players starting to pay attention to Hologram, whether it be because during Q2, that's when it did have a lot of good opportunity to really go up at that time as well. The short interest was really portraying roughly I think in excess of 100%, which later that we look back, it was an error, but still, maybe that's why some institutions are paying attention to it, something to keep in mind. But as of right now, through IBKR, it does indicate that there is in excess of 10 million shares available to be shorted. So if shorts really wanted to double down, they definitely could. And actually, shorts are now increasing a little bit more, so 96,000. So definitely they are taking advantage of the broader fear. Obviously, Hologram doesn't have any options, nothing like that. And so as of right now, a lot of people I see on the Reddit page for the most part, and even on other platforms, you see some people just saying, why is Hologram going up? Why is it going down? A lot of people generally just are curious about Hologram. Like, they've maybe been holding for a while, holding for a squeeze, and they want to know what is next. So one thing that is really driving Hologram is technicals. So even though normally for a momentum stock, you don't typically pay attention to technicals because they don't really go hand in hand, right? But with the lower volume that is happening with Hologram, I feel like technicals is a little bit more relevant. So right now, it did bounce off of that S1. So that's basically the all-time low for Hologram. So it bounced off of that general area, and that's why it did push to this pivot point right here. Didn't really have enough for it to stay above that though. So just kind of take note of some of the strong support and resistance points, because for the most part, it is going to follow these kind of levels until the company decides and wakes up and says, hey, I want to make some news today. I want to make this stock go up. I don't know when that's going to happen or if that's ever going to happen. And maybe they'll just never say a single word about what they plan on doing with that in excess of $100 million. Or maybe they will. We'll just have to wait and see. But until that point, I do feel that you just have to follow the technicals. But then again, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to get you to buy. I'm not here to get you to sell. I really could care less. I'm just portraying what Hologram does need to really move higher, what's really been affecting it, causing it to go down, and everything else. So let me know your thoughts on Hologram. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Hologram? And do you think that they are going to be putting out a piece of news anytime soon? Like, if we look back, so February 7th, and then they had one in January, so kind of a 1 month gap, then back in November 8th, September, February. So logically, are we in for this? Like pretty much February the 7th. I don't know why, it just seems to be very correlated for that. But are they waiting up until September-ish for news, which is kind of crazy, a good like 7 months at least in between pieces of news, but whatever. So yeah, maybe in September there might be some tentative news for Hologram, or maybe sooner rather than later. We'll just have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, holding. Based on the momentum indicator, does show that retail is slowly getting back in. Not really nothing dramatic, but they are slowly buying. So give yourself a shout out. One final thing I just want to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. And on a side note, as you can tell based on the date, it has been extended up until August, end of August. So definitely take advantage of this. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.